people who are going to be inside there, who's going to press the button around 2:30 this afternoon, bringing down the Twin Towers. Thereafter, the immediate concern would be whether at all any of those explosives they have detonated or not. If they haven't, then a controlled explosion will be done to ensure that the area is completely safe to go in. Thereafter, you have those mechanized sweepers who have come in, water tankers have been brought in, because immediately thereafter would be the dust that has been created, that has been generated. If the wind speed is higher, then there is a possibility Suesha and myself could also be covered by dust. There's a high possibility, viewers, because it's not very far away. But having said that, that's going to be the other big concern right now. The wind, the wind that is going to blow, the dust that is going to be generated. Let me go across to Nivedana also. Nivedana, she in fact is, viewers, if I can show you this angle, you'll understand where Nivedana is technically, she's standing right now. Ravatji, if you can just go a little closer, take a look at those. The image of the flyover, that's the flyover, viewers. That's the closest you can go towards. I'm given to understand, that's all. That's the flyover. Ravatji, if you can just give me a cue, if you can show our viewers right now. That's right now on your screen. The very flyover from where Nivedana is broadcasting right now. Nivedana, so we've given a top view to our viewers of the place that you are right now in. What's really happening? Take us through some of those images and in terms of the preparations, are you looking at some sort of movement in your area?
Right, Shravan, in terms of preparation, of course, police have been deployed since 5 in the morning. So, of course, a huge responsibility for them as well. In terms of course, the visuals right behind me, like you said, I'm at, I'm on the flyover, and right behind me is where we can see the Supertech Twin Towers, and the countdown, of course, has begun to see the unfolding of this demolition. What we also understand is that an estimated 41,720 tons will hit the ground under the apex tower when the Twin Towers come hurling down. On the other hand, the demolition of the Twin Towers in Noida will also generate nearly 80,000 tons of debris. So a huge mushroom cloud of dust is what we're going to get to.
We seem to be having some... Yeah.
Right. Right, Nivedana, if I could also bring in Piyush at this point, because the voice of the residents is extremely important at this point. Let's also understand that they've had to do a lot in this entire exercise. They are having to relocate. They are having to relocate for a good 12 days until the situation slightly comes back into control, the dust settles down, and there have been multiple challenges on multiple levels that people have had to face at this point, because it is about their health at the end of the day, it is about saving their homes at the end of the day, and most importantly, the long-run battle as it has been. We also have some guests joining us on the broadcast, and we'll try and bring them in a while from now, Shravan. But for the moment, if I can also bring in Shivangi, because Shivangi, you have been interacting with a lot of these residents, and as you talk to them, their concerns that are on their minds. In fact, when I was coming on the top of this building, I can tell you for a fact, Shivangi, that I met a couple and they had a baby in their arms, and they said that, their baby is unwell and they're just bringing her from the hospital. And they say that although they're at a fair distance from the Twin Towers where we are standing, but they don't want their family, their child to fall sick. So many of these concerns that are weighing on the minds of all these people living in this entire area, this vicinity. What are you picking up, Shivangi?
Right. So, Suesha and Shravan, we are at a different vantage point, and from here, the towers are not too far away. And if I could ask my Vivek to get the camera and follow me a little bit, because I want to show exactly what's happening. Just a short while back, we saw the NDRF team. I'll just show the shots once my camera person, if we can pan and show the NDRF team with their equipment. Can you see all that equipment? There's a backpack. There are many tools there. This equipment has just come in. The NDRF has just come in. In fact, they had come in hours ago, but they keep coming and going. You can still see some of the members of the NDRF there walking around. So you can see that the preparations are in full swing. There's an ambulance also. There's an ambulance also there on spot. Now, if my camera person can pan and show you, look at the rooftops. So, just have a look at the rooftops. And I want the viewers also to have a look at how much interest there is. People are lining up. It's crowded. All the rooftops here. This is a bit of a residential area where we are at. And from here we have a very good view of the Supertech. You can see the rooftops are completely crowded. Whereas the towers on which you see next to Supertech, we're talking about ATS, Emerald Court, and these towers, the residential buildings which are half in height of Supertech, you can't see a single soul there. Why? Because they have been evacuated. More than 5,000 residents have been evacuated. So those are completely empty. And if my VJ could show that image once more of the tower there, can you see all those coverings? Can you see all the coverings of the building there? So they have been covered. And like Swesha, we were talking to residents, and even though some of them have evacuated, they still fear about the damage to the apartment. They fear that the debris, that the vibrations might damage, their apartment, cracks. We're talking about damage to their technological gadgets, phones, TVs. So they have taken precautions. Some of them, the ones who are very cautious, those have covered their building. So this is a very important vantage point. From here, we're getting all the top updates. Over to you, Suesh.
Well, in fact, let me just quickly bring in my colleague Nivedana. I'm given to understand there's been some movement. Even we can spot water tankers have already been brought in. Nivedana, over to you. Take us through the latest developments.
Right, Shravan, if you do see right now, there has been more police officials deployed. Now we can see more cars right behind me. Initially, of course, there were just a few vehicles. Now it's being ramped up closer to the demolition, of course. Again, coming to the point of the traffic route, considering we're on the flyover, this is going to be changing sometime around the demolition and right after that as well. So probably post 2:30, we would be seeing a lot of diversion terms of movement of from the Mahamaya flyover towards sector 37 is what we understand. Now you can see the visuals as well. More police official vehicles are coming in at the moment. Coming back, talking about the NDRF is also right. We're seeing some in terms of security. There's more security that is being deployed so far. Coming back to the traffic, considering the entire section of the flyover has been cordoned off.
Nivedana, we seem to be having some problem with your audio line. Nivedana, we seem to be having some problem with her audio line. We'll try and go back to Nivedana a short while from now. Before I go across to my colleague Piyush Ori, I'll just request our camera person Surendra Rawat just to quickly take you through, because what we are seeing right now is movement of the water tankers. Rawatji, if you can just quickly show on the left hand side, you would see movement of these water tankers. What's essentially been done is the moment the demolition takes place, the mechanized sweepers as well as these water tankers will be brought in closer to the exclusion zone. That's because once the dust has been collected, they'll try and...
और ये पूरा वर्क जो है नोएडा अथॉरिटी ने एडिफिस इंजीनियरिंग को दिया हुआ है, जो एक एक्सपीरियंस इंजीनियरिंग टीम है, और ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट के इस ऑर्डर को इम्प्लीमेंट करने के लिए पूरी तरह से पुलिस टीम्स यहाँ पर सजग हैं. एक ये एक्सक्लूजन जोन हमने यहाँ बनाया हुआ है. उस एक्सक्लूजन जोन में किसी भी तरह के लिविंग बीइंग को वहाँ से सेफली इवैक्यूएट कर दिया गया है. वहाँ से व्हीकल्स को इवैक्यूएट कर दिया गया है. इवन जो पेट्स और स्ट्रे एनिमल्स थे उनको भी वहाँ से इवैक्यूएट कर दिया गया है. और पूरी तरह से ये जो हमारा टाइम है इसका एक्सपर्ट्स का, उसके लिए हम लोग पूरी तरह से तैयार हैं. ग्राउंड पे एक बार फिजिकली मैंने, मेरे जॉइंट सीपीज़ ने और सब एरिया इंसिडेंट कमांडर्स ने एक पूरा राउंड लेकर इसको कर लिया है, देख लिया है. बाकी मॉनिटरिंग, हमारी ऑनलाइन मॉनिटरिंग जो है वो इस कमांड सेंटर के द्वारा चल रही है, और वी आर वेरी होपफुल कि ये बहुत सक्सेसफुली इम्प्लीमेंट हो जाएगा.
उसके लिए चुनौतीपूर्ण रहेगा क्योंकि 9 मीटर का डिस्टेंस है बिल्कुल, तो उसको किस तरह से बचाया जा सकता है अगर डैमेज होता है?
ये पूरी फैक्टर इन की हुई है जो इंजीनियरिंग कंपनी है, उन्होंने पूरा इसको फैक्टर इन किया हुआ है। इन केस अगर कोई और इंसिडेंट होता है उसमें रेस्क्यू के लिए हमारे पास एनडीआरएफ की टीम्स यहाँ पर ऑलरेडी मौजूद हैं, जिनको स्ट्रेटेजिकली डिप्लॉय किया जा चुका है।
बिल्डिंग तो गिरा दी, लेकिन उन लोगों के बारे में क्या
कुछ लोग रह गए, अब वो कलेक्टर साहब से पूछ लीजिए।
आ जाओ
You take it. Well, in fact, the police has just given us a briefing of all the preparations that have been undertaken. In fact, we have been told that this entire area has been evacuated, and very heartening to know, Suesha, even the stray dogs have been taken away from those very areas. A lot of concerns because a lot of animals would have also been there in that area. Police saying that they've taken, all possible steps to ensure that this entire drive goes completely smoothly. Let me quickly go across to our colleague Piyush Ori, and also perhaps Suesha will also bring in a guest who's joining us on this broadcast. But a quick response from you, Piyush. Piyush, what more are you picking up? What's the situation like right now? Are the residents telling you anything?
So definitely, Shravan, it is an important, responsibility also for the Noida officials. And right now we just had a bite from the Noida Police Commissioner in which he said that all preparations are underway to make sure that this implosion goes off all right. In fact, the most important thing which he said, and it is also very important to note, is that it is not also only about 5,000 residents, but also a lot of stray animals which are present in and around the area. Not only are there a lot of stray dogs which are present over here, but there are also a lot of buffaloes, because there are villages nearby which have this stray buffaloes. So all these animals also needed to be taken care of. So irrespective of the residents that are being protected and are being taken care of, there is also now a safe passage which has been maintained for the stray dogs and also the stray buffaloes which are in and around this area. Having said that, I said that this is one of the most important responsibilities for the Noida officials. And over here at the Incident Control Center, not only the Noida Police Commissioner but also the Noida Deputy Commissioner are monitoring the situation, monitoring day-to-day, monitoring every minute of the situation. And besides this, as I said, not only this implosion, which is going to carry on till 12 seconds, the most important responsibility then is to make sure that how...
Right. And Piyush, while these preparations are being made, I quickly want to say, Shravan, that, the very big challenge that is going to be is about the implosion. And the very fact that the structure should not slant. Something that we had slightly seen in the building that had imploded in Kochi. At this point, Shravan, I want to bring in our guest who's been very patient with us, and he's with us on the broadcast, Mr. Venkat Rao. He's the founder of Integrat Law and LAUP RERA. Mr. Venkat Rao, thank you for joining us on the broadcast. And you well versed with the property laws, with the real estate regulatory authority, and the home buyer and residents within their rights of when they fight the builder lobby, of the long drawn battle that the residents here have fought against Supertech, of all the investment, be it not just financial, but in terms of, running around with the authorities, seeking answers from here and there. And until now, when the Supreme Court gave out the order that the structure must be pulled down, it must be raised down, the message that it sends out to the entire country of all those consumers, of all those home buyers and residents fighting these kind of influential players.
Yes, let's say it's unfortunate to say it has become such a big spectacle. And I think the message that Honorable Apex Court wanted to send it across has clearly come across. And it sends out a message that rule of law has to be upheld. And if the buyer and if the consumer is aware of his rights, or for that matter, any citizen of this country is aware of his rights, he should enforce them. And there is a law which will be upheld. And if there is some irregularity, that needs to be brought down. And that's what has been, come across, and will actually strengthen, I would say, the entire faith in the system, and definitely the judiciary.
Well, just in terms of the fact that this is a clear reflection, as the Supreme Court says, an act of collusion between the authorities and the builder. Do you think perhaps, as what the residents have been saying, this could be a big learning lesson for all the builders who have been carrying on with this rampant illegal construction in this area?
Oh, definitely, Shravan. I would say this is not only in this area. The entire messaging is to across to the country. You know, how many of the demolitions have we been able to see across the channels? And I mean, I've been in the entire so many years. You have been able to cover. Just I mean, this is the one that I see that we see that whatever collision you may call or whatever, as you know, you may call it as greed is good. Gecko had said it, so that is falling away. And I would say that if there is a law, it's better that one follows it, and that's what probably the messaging had to be sent across, and that's that objective has been getting achieved.
And the very fact, Mr. Rao, that the kind of impact this will have on urban planning across the country, Shravan, because like Mr. Rao mentioned, that this is not just about this particular area, this is about the entire country, about how builders are now going to go about when they seek permissions from the authorities when it comes to following the fire norms, the safety norms, the environmental zone, and how that needs to be respected. And they cannot go on flouting norms like this, because let's also understand, Shravan, that the residents here have been facing trouble for years together. No access to sunlight, no access to a view, no access to air, and free passage, so as to say. And now, when they finally win this battle, yes, a share of inconvenience that they have to go through, but it's all worth it, because at this very point, we also see that this particular structure being raised down is going to impact urban planning across the country and how we will really go about building this kind of infrastructure.
Well, in fact, let me also bring in my colleague Shivangi, who is joining us from the other vantage point. It's about 1:37 this afternoon. In about a little less than an hour, viewers, the two twin towers, the two towers that you see behind us, it's going to come down. And as we've been broadcasting, we've been saying this, that perhaps this is a great victory for those who have been fighting the builder mafia. It's the win for the home buyers. A lot of questions also coming in, but let me go across to Shivangi. Shivangi, what's really happening in your area? Just take us through those images. Less than an hour, we are going to witness, something that is going to be etched in the memory of everyone who's going to tune in today.
All right, Shravan, this is the visuals. If I want my VJ to just come and show right now, the reason I want to show the frame, our frame, is because our frame has a point which is basically not just about, the demolition, but also the kind of interest that the entire India has taken in the story. And the reason is because you can see the crowd which is gathered right over there. You can see how many people, and just 1 hour is left. Just 1 hour is left, but a crowd has gathered outside, and you can also see, right over there. I just want a VJ to come a little bit closer. If VJ Vivek could come a little bit closer and show you those shots. Have a look at the rooftops, completely filled with people. And why is there so much of interest? Well, it's the tallest tower in India to be raised. It's 100 meters high, 40-story building, and it also represents something. It represents the fight for justice, the fight against corruption. And today is the day when this tower will be raised down at 2:30 p.m. This is a big story, and we are live and we are covering the story. We have multiple reporters on spot, and where I am is, the perfect view if you want to understand that how are the people around feeling about it. At one place, you see the huge amount of interest with the crowd, and the other, if my VJ Vivek could show the buildings all around. Can you see the buildings? The buildings are half the size of Supertech, and if you see very closely, these buildings are right now ghost buildings. Nobody's inside the building because they have been evacuated. Even the towers close by, apart from ATS Village and Emerald Court, which are right next door, the other towers which we are showing you right now, even that is evacuated. Ghost town. Can you even see one person in the balcony? No. And that means that the safety of the residents, the safety of the citizens is taken very seriously by the authorities. Some of the residents have put tape, they have put some kind of a covering to kind of insulate their apartment from the crash which will happen. But everything is taken care of as of now. The authorities there going ahead and also making sure that no untoward harm happens. NDRF was such a short while back.
Yes.
Okay, I'm coming back to you, Shavan, in a moment, and I want to leave our viewers with this shot of the NDRF and their material and the tools that they have got. Over to you, Shavan.
Well, thank you very much, Shivangi. We'll keep coming back to you as we are now inching closer to the demolition. We'll straight away take you through these images that you're going to see right now on your screens. I'll ask Rawatji to now just focus on that very area. It's about 1:40 in the afternoon, less than an hour from now. The Twin Towers are finally going to come down. Suesha, what we'll do right now, take our viewers through a full understanding of this area where we are, why this building is being brought down. So what I'll do is, let me first try and explain where these two buildings are, what are the arrangements that have essentially been done, and what is it that you're going to witness around 2:30 this afternoon. Viewers, straight down, less than about few meters from where we are broadcasting, is the Supertech Twin Tower that was constructed. It started sometime back in 2005, 2009. The modification takes place and these two towers basically come in. 2012 is when the Emerald Court Resident Welfare Association, they stepped in, moved the court because they're saying that this is a clear illegal construction that took place. So 29 floors and 32 floors. I'll ask our video journalist Rawatji just to stay right now on that frame of the two towers. Let's not move out of that. Let's just perhaps Suesha also, let's just step aside a little bit so that Rawatji can give a proper frame of the two buildings right now and also the adjoining area. So in the next couple of minutes, we'll try and explain this to you viewers. That's 93, sector 93 of Noida, where these two buildings have come up, not very far away from the Noida Expressway, a stone throw away from the Noida Expressway, which connects to the national capital. Here, over the last few months, what's happened is that after the court direction came in, you've had for the demolition, there were companies that were basically roped in. Edifice happens to be one of the companies, and the other is a South African company. They are the ones who are going to carry out this demolition, bringing down the two towers. 3,700 kilogram of explosives that are going to be placed there. I'll ask Rawatji just to stay with the visual of just the Twin Towers as we also bring in more visuals. Rawatji, just stay with those visuals as we, Suesha and myself, will try and explain this. So 3,700 kilogram of explosives have already been placed. So around 2:30, when the blaster is inside the exclusion zone, they're going to press the button and the towers are going to be brought down.
Right. And Shavan, exactly why the big challenge? Because let's understand that the distance between the twin towers and the adjacent buildings is only about 9 meters. And the biggest challenge is that when these twin towers are raised down, they should fall vertically down. They should not slant, they should not fall on either side, they should fall vertically down so that there's no damage on the adjacent structures that are built. And this was the exact argument that was made in the court as well, as to how there could be such less distance, to which the Noida authority had also stated examples of other structures like this and said that they had not drawn out clear regulations and clear laws to how much the distance between two towers should be as opposed to the distance between two plots. But however, the court making it very clear that the residents cannot be made to suffer like this. And of course, we see the repercussions of that today. These towers will be raised down. Shivangi, I want to come back to you because you have been talking to a lot of residents and of course the preparation that is in place and the aerial view that Shavan and I are witness to, because we see, Shavan, that most of the roads are blocked now. And in fact, now we are very close to the time when the movement will drastically reduce. What has happened until now has happened. The water tanks have moved in, the NDRF has moved in, the police deployment has been heightened, and now we are slowly bracing towards that very moment. 9 seconds, Shivangi, is all it will take to bring these two structures down.
Right. So Suesha, I'm having a little trouble hearing you. There's some network issue which is happening, but I'll just tell you exactly where we are right now. And like you said, the NDRF, we have the best viewpoint. If my VJ could come, take his camera and come a little bit towards and show you the vantage point that we have. This is the vantage point. It is not too far away, in fact, from the Supertech. It's quite close. Look at the view that we have got. We have got a great view from here, where you can see the Supertech towers, and they are standing so tall, and nobody would have ever thought earlier that a tower so tall, which was supposed to be a residential building, would be brought down like this. So this is the view that we have, and look at the time, 1:46 p.m. 1:46 p.m. That's just 45 minutes away from the big blast. Have a look at the view. Now, I want a camera person to show the NDRF tools. You know, I have been saying this for the past few hours about the kind of security, the kind of, the kind of safety which is being taken in consideration, not just in terms of the health safety, because the dust machines installed in case that there is too much of dust after the demolition, but also in terms of NDRF, they've kept their tools ready in case they have to move very fast. A green corridor has also opened up for emergency situation. We have ambulances, we have fire tenders on spot. The cranes had come in early in the morning around 7 a.m. and nobody is around. Just look at the buildings. It's very interesting to see. Look at the buildings. Look at the difference. Left side, look at the buildings there. Nobody inside the building. Not even one person on the balcony. On the right side, huge interest waiting for that demolition. In fact, these people have been here for the past few hours. Even though demolition will take place at 2:30 p.m., the people here have been waiting on the rooftops for so long, just like us in Republic TV, because this is a story that we want the entire world to know about. Not just a story of the demolition. This story is about the fight for justice. This story is about the fight against corruption and the win for the citizen of India. I'll just talk to you a little bit about why I'm saying this, because even after Supreme Court had said again and again that we will not budge from the order we gave that these towers are illegal, Supertech had again and again appealed once again and again for years. Since 2009, Supertech has been fighting this case and saying that our towers are legal, but Supreme Court did not budge. It is a win for the legal system in India. Supreme Court did not budge. They did postpone the demolition date, Suesha and Shravan and the viewers, they did postpone the demolition date. But what they did not postpone was what they didn't stop was the demolition. Today is the day, the D-Day, the biggest demolition in the last decade in India. And this also means that India has the time and the platform to showcase its demolition skills, voluntary demolition skills. Remember that Edifice and Jet are both doing it together. Edifice is the Mumbai-based firm, and Jet is the South African-based firm. Shravan, I want to go back to you, but from here, the excitement is also palpable as many people, including us here from Republic TV, are waiting for 2:30 p.m.
Yes, very right, Shivangi. And Shravan, fact remains that it is a David versus Goliath fight that has been going on for years today, that we are about to witness this spectacle. And so much hard work and sweat and efforts have gone into this fight against the builder, against the authorities who actually allowed this building to come up brick by brick. Fact remains that this kind of corruption that was prevalent within the system, how permissions were being granted despite knowing that norms are being flouted. And fact remains, Shravan, that there have been several such instances in all these years, especially in the last particular decade, that we see in the NCR region, because there are a particular set of builders who are going on building and constructing rampantly and coming out with fancy ads of how they want to sell this to the home buyers, and it is the home buyer at the end of the day putting in all their hard-earned money, all their savings towards a property that they build for themselves, until it reaches this stage when the builder does not follow the rules, when the builder does not follow the norms, and the authorities that collude with a builder like this, and this is a clear case example of how such corruption has existed. But the very fact that the Supreme Court makes it very clear, the judiciary of the country makes it clear that this cannot be allowed. And the fact that it is the resident that at the end of the day that is winning, not just that fact, Shravan, even the home buyers and the residents saying that the Supreme Court has compensated to them today,
right,
that the builder is paying them today.
In fact, I'll just ask Rawatji just to once again go back to the Twin Towers as we get a closer look right now of the two towers that are going to be brought down in a short while from now. Rawatji, if you can just give a closer look, just a closer look of the two towers right now. It's about 1:50 in the afternoon. 2:30 is the scheduled time for these two towers to be brought down. And as Suesha was also pointing out, the preparations that have essentially gone in to ensure that what happens at 2:30 is a smooth process. Why we say that it has to be a smooth process, essentially because what you see just in the adjacent areas, there are about 15 towers of the Emerald Court and obviously of ATS village also, and those entire areas have been completely covered. If Rawatji can just closely show you, 9 meters away from one of the towers is the Emerald Court, and that's the reason why the residents have been saying it's an illegal construction that is taking away, blocking their view, and also the fact that that was the area where the garden area would have been there.
And Shravan, approximately 40 minutes to go for the big moment when these two structures are raised down. We have to step into a very short commercial break right now so that we don't miss all the important developments coming back after this short break with the very latest Stay with the Public.
Tallest building, Supertech Twin Towers, right behind me, 100 meters tall, 40-story high, which will be coming down. It's going to be a waterfall implosion. A lot of detonators, emulsion, shock tubes being used filled with explosive material and gel and powdered form. Very, very serious violation of building codes. It's coming at the back of the Supreme Court order. In nefarious complicity between the Noida Authority and Supertech. And on Sunday, the Twin Towers will be reduced to just rubble.
When Sonali Fogha taken to the same restaurant, there she was intentionally and forcefully drink, and that is now visible in the CCTV, which clearly sees that how Sudhir Sangwan, who is forcefully making Sonali Fogha to drink 1.5 gram of MDMA that was mixed in the same drink.
Ladies and gentlemen, of course there have been journalists in Pakistan who have been tortured, who have been shot at. But those journalists are either neutral or do not support Imran Khan at all. During Imran Khan's regime, the same thing was done to journalists who would criticize Imran Khan's government and Imran Khan himself. Friends, in Pakistan, everybody is a lion till the time the police come calling, and then all the lions are lambs.
You see, this is yet another barricade. A couple of minutes ago, we saw the other one. Barricades have been put on the all four sides of the flyover. In fact, a flyover that we're very used to seeing hustling and bustling with a lot of activity and traffic. And right behind me, of course, is the Supertech Twin Towers.
A big win for residents coming in. A very long legal battle where it was found there was some complicity, nefarious complicity between Noida Authority and Supertech. But that is going to end today.
People are not concerned about much about the debris, but they are very much concerned about dust, because residents of the society are going to be directly impacted because of the dust.
Viewers, we continue to be live and breaking. I'm Shivangi Shukla, and 45 minutes left, not 45, it's 1:54. That means less than around half an hour left, just 30 minutes left for the Twin Towers to collapse. We're getting some fresh updates right now, and let's just tell you one thing. What we have learned is that officials are saying that there is a change in direction. That means the dust area, and the officials tell us that if there will be a dust cloud, the dust cloud will take 10 minutes to leave the area. So that's the latest update. But let's talk about what we can expect next. want my camera person to show a little bit of the shots right over here slowly. You can see the amount, even the where we are.
Amity University Dubai has been awarded as the best university campus in the Middle East by Forbes magazine and recognized as the best university for job placements. Jumpstart your global career in Dubai with Amity, with faculty and students from over 50 nationalities. Visit amity.edu/Dubai.
These are the two rooms that was booked in the name of Sonali Fogart and Sudhir and Sukhwinder Singh. It has already been sealed by the police, and even the FSL team was present at the same room. Anjuna police has registered a separate narcotic case against 4 persons and arrested Curly's owner Edwin Noons and drug peddler Datta Prasad Gaukar. Accused are non-Goans and the Cloud B involvement of others. This was the main point that was put before. 10 days custody has been granted by the court to the police of both the accused, that is Sudhir Sangwan and Sukhwinder Singh.
Tallest building, Supertech Twin Towers, right behind me, 100 meters tall, 40-story high, which will be coming down. It's going to be a waterfall implosion. A lot of detonators, emulsion, shock tubes being used filled with explosive material and gel and powdered form. Very, very serious violation of building codes.
At 2:30 p.m., the Supertech towers right behind me, they will be reduced to rubble. These are the tallest towers ever in India to be raised down. They're 100 meters tall. That is why this is a very, very significant moment today at 2:30 p.m.
There is definitely a heavy deployment of police officials, and these officials, began, getting deployed over this area at around 4 a.m. So you can understand the kind of responsibility which even Noida police realizes.
Here arrangements have been made by the RW President for the residents of Emerald Court Supertech so that they can come and stay here till the time the entire demolition exercise takes place.
The two towers, barely about 9 meters from there, is the Emerald Court and ATS Village. Remember, it's the Resident Welfare Association of Emerald Court who's fought for about 9 years. What you see is the construction, which is it's extremely close, and that is the reason why they say that there was a violation of the Uttar Pradesh Apartments Act.
This area has been cordoned off right now. We can see right behind me, police officials are here. Security has been ramped up continuously. Now, this is, of course, a very busy flyover generally.
Right now, and a lot of interest, there's a lot of activity here also, because where I'm standing, it's completely full. There are people standing on rooftops here waiting for that big demolition. This is the big news coming in right now. We have all the vantage points that you can see on your screens live. In fact, since yesterday, we have a live camera outside Supertech, which is showing you live footage. Let's talk about what is happening right now. The first siren has gone off at demolition site. Big news coming in. First siren has gone off at the demolition site. Just around 30 minutes left. I'm wearing a mask right now. Masks are being distributed where time right now because we want to make sure that once there is some dust, we keep safe. Just as a safety precaution, we are putting our masks on. So this is the big news coming in. NDRF has come just a short while back. All the safety precautions are in place. The fire tenders, ambulances are in place. And let's talk a little bit about the detonation. The detonation will happen on the bottom floor. Emulsions will be used. Explosive materials will be used. 3,700 kilograms. I repeat, 3,700 kilograms will be used to detonate this building. Waterfall detonation, waterfall implosion will take place. And you know, if this is successful, it will put India in the league of countries which can carry out successful voluntary, I repeat, successful voluntary demolition. So this is a very important, very important demolition. Just 30 minutes left, 2 p.m. It's 2 p.m. viewers. And right now, let's talk a little bit about the residents. There's nobody around right now. We are at a very safe distance. But the people staying around, they have all left. 5,000 people have left the building. And we also saw an act of humanity. It was just not about the demolition. It's just not about, you know, the Supreme Court order, which said there's nefarious complicity between Noida Authority and Supertech. It's also about humanity coming together. Because when we have been reporting, Republic TV has been speaking to residents who stay close by, and they have given all their efforts, giving people water, places to stay for those who had to evacuate. NGOs coming forward, youngsters coming forward, rescuing stray animals, rescuing stray dogs. To make sure that they're also safe. So this is not just about the demolition, it's not just about the fight for justice, fight against corruption, it's about the entire community coming together. Because you know, you will see in Noida, if you're in Noida and you stand at the rooftop, you will see that the entire rooftop all across Supertech is crowded. It's crowded, people coming out, young, old, men, women, all coming out to see the demolition. A lot of activity. In fact, even teas being distributed, water is being distributed as well. All right, I'm going to go back to Shavan. Shavan, you know, just 30 minutes left. Shavan, just 30 minutes left, and where I am, there's extreme excitement. Over to you. What's happening where you are?
Well, exactly 30 minutes, and viewers, you need to stay with Republic Media Network as we get you every possible update. Let me quickly go back to that Twin Towers. Only 30 minutes, viewers. We are going to witness this for 30 minutes, and thereafter this building comes crashing down, and this is only because, as we've been pointing out, for 9 years, people of Emerald Court have been fighting to bring down this illegal construction. I'll request Rawatji, just stay with those building, because as we try and explain to all our viewers what's really going to happen and why we've been constantly saying that this perhaps is going to be one of the biggest lessons for all those builder mafia who've taken the home buyers for a ride. Today, it's going to be the biggest message that's going to go across not only to builders here in the national capital and the NCR region, but the entire country, that no longer can you take the home buyers for a ride, because if you do so, this is going to be your destiny. What you have created is going to come down, is going to crumble down, and not just the builder mafia, but also those officials who have been complicit, hand in glove, for bringing in this tower, which is going to undoubtedly be a blot, if I may say so, given the fact that had it not been for those corrupt officials, had it not been for those corrupt builders, this building would not have stood here. And not just that, created the trouble for all the people who are living in the vicinity. Suesha, let's just quickly focus now. What's going to happen? Now it's 2:03. About 2:30, that's the building is going to be brought down. What is going to really happen? How is it going to, go across? Let's try and explain this. First, Suesha, you take us through this, explaining it to our viewers where we are standing and perhaps the area, and whether at all, once this building is brought down, is it really going to impact the buildings in the vicinity, in the adjacent buildings also?
Yes, Shavan, and now every minute is very crucial, because we are literally only 26 minutes or lesser than that from when these two structures stand imploded. And like you said, Shavan, it is justice that has prevailed in every which way, because not only do we see illegal steel construction come down today, but also the very fact that the home buyers and the residents living in the adjacent structures have been compensated to by the top court of the country. And the message is very, very clear that just because you have the money and the muscle power, you cannot override the consumer, the residents, the home buyers. They cannot be taken for a ride. And Shavan, I also want to mention here, because like I said earlier, that I have been a part of a lot of these protests, a lot of such structures that have come up, promises made by the builders to the residents, to the home buyers about the amenities promised, about how the structure will come up. But eventually, are the norms being followed? Is the safety kept in mind? Are all the precautions being considered? But today, when Shavan, these buildings will be raised down, all such precautions are being taken. In fact, which is why we see the delay, which is why this particular day has been chosen. It's a Sunday. And now at this point, as we talk, Shavan, about 25 minutes away from the scheduled time of when these buildings will be raised down, I see lesser movement now. The roads completely blocked and barricaded. The cars that stand straight, not many who are moving. And of course, we'll see.
There's one more interesting thing that's happening right now. Ravitji, why don't you just show just barely 200 meters away from the building, perhaps people are now gathering.
Yes.
Take a look at this. There is there's absolutely no doubt about the fact that there is a lot of excitement which is palpable right now, given the fact that a lot of number of people, cars that have been completely lined up. Take a look at this. Take a look at this, where the fire tenders have been parked around this area. More and more people. We've been here for the last 2.5, 3 hours now, and we are now seeing the more and more number of people gathering here because they all want to get a closer glimpse. I'm not very sure for how long they would be allowed to be here, given the fact that the police may be asking them to leave in a short while from now. There is a safe distance, but having said that, I'm not too sure for how long would they be allowed here. Let's just quickly also go across to Shivangi, who's joining us from the other vantage point. I'm given to understand there are more people joining Shivangi. Over to you, Shivangi. Get us the latest.
Right. Well, Shavan, we are here at the rooftop, and we have of an issue, but I want, if my camera thing slowly pan and show a little bit of the crowd which is gathered right behind me, a little bit of the crowd. If you can just show the little bit of the crowd, because I want people to understand how much excitement there is over here. Just look at this, this rooftop where we are, so many people gathered there, and just have a look. So many people have gathered. They're extremely excited about what will happen. Not just over here. We also have the rooftop right over there. But before we show you those shots, I just want to talk to some people here. Are you excited? अभी जो होने वाला है, आपको पता है क्या होने वाला है?
आपसे पहले डर रहा है।
आप किस लिए आए ऊपर? पता है
मुझे देखने के लिए आई हूँ।
People are saying that they have come to, and I just want to go ahead and show the Supertech frame to our viewers. That's a Supertech frame, and we're keeping a very close
right now because the officials have said that there will be a huge cloud of smoke, a huge cloud of dust.
We'll try and reconnect. We'll try and reconnect with Shivangi in a while. Shivangi, there seems to be some audio problem with your line. We'll try and fix that and come back to you while we take you through all the details that we're picking up right now. Suesha, as you were talking about, so it's about right now 2:08. So less than 20 minutes from now, we're going to see the two buildings are going to be brought down. Suesha, so what really happens? 2:30. Who's going to really carry out that work of pressing the button? Where does that happen? Tell our viewers every possible minute details of how this entire demolition process is going to take place.
In fact, Shavan, I was just exactly thinking about that, and also concerned for these passers-by in that particular park, because let's also understand that the sound that it's going to make, the dust that is going to come out of it, 3,700 kgs of explosives that are etched in that entire structure, and the two structures to be precise, and it's all going to implode at 2:30 is the scheduled time. And Edifice Engineering, that has the company that has taken every possible precaution to ensure that the damage is minimal. The debris, of course, does not in any way move out and the dust can be contained, the debris can be contained. The building also falls exactly vertical, does not slant in any which way, because the gap, the very fact that this fight has landed here is the distance between the adjacent buildings and the Twin Towers, which is only about 9 meters. And when these two structures come crumbling down, it should not cause any damage to the adjacent structures. Also, the very fact that people living around, they are concerned about the fact that their health should remain fine. There should be no respiratory issues that people in the time to come develop because of the dust and the debris that will, happen soon after the implosion. And most importantly, the fact that how it has been planned, Shravan. Take our viewers through that, about these very fabrics that have been placed very strategically to ensure that everything can be contained. And the damage is not to those who are outside.
In fact, I'll go across to Piyush, but before I do that, Aditi, let me just try and explain a little bit. Meanwhile, we get Piyush also ready. As Suesha, you were basically asking what really happens in the adjacent area, because what you see, those fabric that has been put just on the, I think that's the Aster 1 and Aster 3 tower of Emerald Court, which has been completely covered right now. Suesha was pointing out 3,700 kilograms. Large part of it is also on the lower areas, and of course it goes up. It has essentially been placed at the edges, the structure basically, and what they're using is something called an emulsion. Emulsion is which essentially helps them in crushing the stones, and it once that happens, it converts into dust and it comes crashing down. Large part of the debris that's going to be generated out of it, 80,000 tons. I'll also ask I'll just ask our camera person also to just zoom out a little bit while we give you a panoramic view. Let's stay with this frame right now, Rawatji. Let's stay with this frame, and we'll try and explain this to our viewers. So we were telling you 3,700 kilograms of explosives generating about 80,000 tons of construction debris. What will happen? 55,000 tons of that debris is going to very much remain in that place, because that's going to create some sort of a crater kind of a thing. So the entire thing gets covered up, about 55,000 tons of it, and thereafter it's been carried out from here. Rawat, you can perhaps zoom in once again a little bit, and we'll also tell you what happens thereafter, because for all our viewers who are tuning in right now, the bigger question that's going to be in everyone's mind right now, what happens immediately? Is it going to have some sort of impact immediately in terms of the loud explosion that's going to take place, or for that matter the dust that is going to be generated? In terms of the weather, there is a mild wind that's blowing, so which would essentially mean that the dust may just come towards the area where we are broadcasting right now from. That's one concern. Second concern would be the shock waves that's or the vibration that's going to happen because of the implosion that takes place. Having said that, edifice as well as jet essentially indicating that that's going to be minimalized to a greater extent.
Right. And the very fact, Shravan, that again we see the crowd slowly coming together to witness that moment. 9 seconds is what has been said, that is all that it'll take for these two structures that will come crumbling down at 2:30. Piyush, I want to come back to you, because a lot of preparation has gone into carry out this entire exercise and ensure that there is no damage that is caused. It is minimal, and most importantly, everyone remains safe. Every minute detail has been looked into. A lot of recce's have been done for this purpose, and most importantly, not just the residents, but even this particular radius that we stand in, all remains safe. Piyush, what are you witnessing at your end?
And for that same purpose, Suesha, all precautions have been taken, measures have been taken. Let me try to show you the pictures, the closest and clearest view which we are right now showing. I would ask my video journalist Anil Sharma to zoom and try to show each and every detail of this structure. In a few minutes from now, less than 20 minutes from now, these two towers will be brought down. They will be raised down, and remember, for that around 20,000 holes have been drilled and for that explosives have been put in there. Around 3,700 kilogram explosives has been placed in these holes. Remember that all the preparations have been done. Shravan is also getting a lot of details. Shravan, what is the current situation there? We're already seeing a lot of excited residents. Well, at the same time, these residents are concerned about the dust particles that would emanate.
Well, in fact, the tower of corruption is going to come down within the next 15 minutes, viewers. You need to stay with us because we are going to take you through all possible angles. We are the only network getting you all angles, north, south, east and west. So you have a vantage position. Only network getting you all possible angles to get you the real feeling. So what the feeling that we are going to experience right now, viewers, we are going to bring it to you while you are sitting there today, this Sunday afternoon. Many would say that there is a lot of excitement because at the end of the day, it's a victory for the home buyers. But let's also, it's a stark reminder of what really goes through in places like this when home buyers are taken for a ride.
Yes.
But viewers, what you will remember, let's just stay with this frame. Let's just stay with this frame, Ravaji. Go back to those, the Twin Towers. Ladies and gentlemen, these towers proposed back in the year 2005 and 2009 because of the nexus of corrupt officials, corrupt builders. They ensured that the proposal is changed overnight. What was supposed to be just 14 towers with 9 floors each today has been converted into 32 floors and 29 floors. Those are the 2 towers. Ravaji, let's stay with those. Let's stay with those pictures right now because this, I would say, viewers, should go and perhaps be a reminder for all those who have even had a slim thought, a thought that they can take the home buyers for a ride. You need to watch this. You need to watch this for the next 15 minutes because today India has changed. Today India will no longer tolerate this. They are not going to tolerate corrupt officials. India will not tolerate this kind of, this I would say this is a tower of deceit.
Yes.
This is a tower of corruption.
Yes.
This tower needs to come down and that's exactly going to happen. Suesha, over to you. Let's try and explain this. It's less than 15 minutes, viewers. You need to stay with us. Stay with us as we take you through every possible detail. So I'll quickly tell you, we're not going to move out of the tower images right now, but I can tell you what I'm seeing in front of me. In front of me right now, more and more number of people really gathering in these areas. There is a park here, right? A circular park that has been created. More people coming in, families coming in. People are staying in, they're inside their cars. They do not want to miss this opportunity to see this tower of deceit to come down, Suesha.
And Shravan, I'd also like to mention that announcements are now being made in this vicinity, in that very park, because the officials are now slowly coming and telling people to stay at a safe distance. Yes, it is going to be a massive spectacle. Yes, to see these 2 structures coming down, imploding, is and that too in 9 seconds, is going to be a spectacle that everybody here is waiting to witness. And why only the people around, Shravan? Fact remains that this is about the entire country watching every camera at this moment in the country,
so
panning towards these
sorry to interrupt you. I can see some more development that's taking place. So I'm not sure Ravaji will be able to capture that. So I'll ask Ravaji, you stay with those visuals of the frame, but I can see that's the State Reserve Police's bus that has just gone inside the exclusion zone. I think so they're going to perhaps also clear that area because 500 meters, viewers, that's the exclusion zone. So if you see right now, Ravaji could perhaps just give you a slightly, expansive look of it. If you just zoom out a little bit, Ravaji, and give a sense to our viewers of the area plus the Twin Towers. And you see this entire exclusion zone, this entire long lane, 100 meters lane has been completely evacuated. No one is standing there, barring, I think so, a few police officials who are there. And Suesha, just take our viewers through that exclusion area, and perhaps now it's 218, so it's coming very, very close. 6 people who are inside the exclusion zone. Over to you, Suesha.
Absolutely, Shavan. You had mentioned a while ago that it is slightly windy and the dust, a high possibility of the dust also flying towards our direction. And the very fact that announcements are being made now to ensure that people stay safe, they stay at a safe distance, and which is why we see the fire ambulances, we see those water tanks there, they're all lined up, the barricading that is done, police officials that are now ensuring that there is minimal movement, or I'd rather say that the movement now just about stops. Let's also understand how all the very norms have been put into place to carry out this entire exercise. There is no airplane at this point that is flying over Noida. Also the very fact that the routes have been completely diverted. A couple of those roads that are barricaded and blocked so that nobody is moving from this particular area. A lot of those residents who are in the adjacent buildings have completely relocated, and they may just do so for the next 12 days until the dust settles down. And of course, all the arrangements that have been made to ensure that there are no stray animals in this zone, because this is also something that the environmentalists have been very particular about.
You know, I don't want to really come out of the frame right now, but you ought to see this right now. Just a few meters, Rawatji, just quickly to show this the circular area. More and more people, I think so, at least 50 to 100 people may have already started gathering here right now as this Tower of Deceit is going to come down. Viewers, everyone wants to witness it. No one wants to miss a chance. But all of you who are there right now in your drawing rooms watching our coverage, I can tell you, as this Tower of Deceit, this Tower of Corruption comes down, we are with you. And today, perhaps you should, pat your back that today these corrupt officials have lost the battle. These corrupt officials will think twice before they actually amend any such proposal, allowing these kind of towers to come up and making life miserable for those who are in the vicinity. So clearly, as it's coming very, very close, it's 2:21. We are being very close to that demolition time. So over to you, Suesha, also quickly.
And Shavan, fact remains that this particular implosion is going to be an example. It is going to inspire all those home buyers, all those residents who have been fighting the builder lobby, who have been fighting the builder mafia, those corrupt officials. And these kind of battles that go on for years, for decades sometimes, in the courts of our country. But the Supreme Court, the top court, making it very clear, putting out a message in the entire country, the judiciary that the residents reached out to for justice, and that finally prevailed. And not just that, the compensation that they also received in return from the builder, because let's also understand that all those who had bought homes in this entire structure, in these twin towers, and of course the builder tried making an argument in the court that most of them had already moved to other projects, but fact remains that those who were invested in this project are now receiving a return of an annual return of 12%, and even the structures around who are fighting this legal battle get a compensation of 2 crore rupees.
Over the next 10 minutes or so, viewers, I'm going to take you through everything, every minute details that I can witness from my naked eye, and I'll try and explain this to you. So, as Rawatji stays with those images, I'm telling you what's happening right now at the exclusion zone. I can spot about 4 to 5 personnel, not very sure from which department are they, because they have just got inside right now the exclusion zone that I can see from here. I can also spot 2 more cars. There are 2 cars there. As per the protocol or the procedure, there are going to be 6 people who are going to be inside the exclusion zone, including the blaster. The blaster is the person who is going to press that button. There is also a police official who's going to be present. Everything is going to be filmed right now. So the countdown has begun, very, very close right now, 2:23 viewers. And I'm telling you, today, perhaps this Sunday afternoon on 28th of August, this is a day everyone will remember as a day to be, it's the victory over the evil. Today I would say it's the victory over the evil. Those who created this Tower of Deceit, those who created this Tower of Corruption, finally will get the message that India will no longer tolerate this. No one is going to be taken for a ride. This should serve as the biggest message, ladies and gentlemen, to everyone who's even had that a glimmer, a thought that in their head that they can actually get away by doing this. As the time comes very, very close, I'm looking at more and more people coming in, families there right now, Suesha.
That's the exact point I was going to mention, Shravan, that while we see families, while we see the locals, the public by large that is gathering to witness that spectacle, I see a lot of these officials also. Now, of course, they are from various departments, we understand, but a lot of these personnel, some also in casuals and some, of course, who are uniformed, they are trying to ensure that the crowds stay at a safe distance. They stay, at a point where they can see, and of course, a lot of these passers-by who are also moving around, Shravan, but the sound, Shravan, the moment the building implodes.
The sense that I get, Suesha, from being here for the last 3.5 hours, speaking to the residents, I think so there's going to be that moment of joy, the moment these towers are going to come down, and that's the reason why a lot of people are now, who were earlier a little wary as to what's going to happen, will this really going to impact? I think so now they are keeping that aside, because as I see, the number of people has grown exponentially. They are now out on the streets. They want to witness this up close. Because remember, for 9 years, people have been fighting to bring down this illegal construction. But remember, despite the hard-earned battle, there was this constant brickbats that they had to face, and the fact that they were fighting against a very powerful builder. You are fighting this against even the authorities here. Let's not forget, when the Allahabad High Court had basically upheld or had passed the order for demolition of the Twin Towers, the builder, along with the Noida authorities, had challenged it before the Supreme Court. And today, it is because salute to the judiciary of our country that has upheld the Allahabad High Court order and is allowing this tower of deceit, tower of corruption to come down. So viewers, it's just about 2:26. So let me just, Suesha, we'll stay right now with every possible details that we know. Right now, viewers, there are 2 more ambulances I can see right now coming closer to the exclusion zone. They've got inside 6 of them inside the exclusion zone who are going to be present there. Sanitization workers are also being closer. They've been brought in closer to the exclusion zone, because the moment these 2 towers are going to be brought down, what is going to happen is that there you see one more. I can see one more ambulance going in. Before this, just a quick check. Just a quick check. There is movement now taking place right now. If you can see, those ambulances are going in right inside the exclusion zone. There, take a look at it. I'm not very sure, viewers, whether you can get a closer glimpse, but I'm telling you this so that you understand better what's really happening. You're not going to miss a single moment. If you are with Republic Media Network, I can assure you, you will not miss a single moment, as today, the biggest learning lesson. We are going to watch this unfold in front of our eyes right now. The countdown has begun. It's 2:27.
And in fact, Shravan,
in the next 3 minutes.
We may just speak for a minute more, because we want to hear the ambient sound after that. Exactly at 2:28 is when we will try and get all the ambient noise, and of course the very fact that the structures will go crumbling down in all of 9 seconds. Everybody waiting for that moment, not only for the people who are here, but for those of our viewers who are watching on their television screens. Every camera in the country right now panned towards this very structure, these twin towers by Supertech. Handful of very influential builders who have monopolized this particular sector in the country, the NCR, the Noida region.
There's loud cheer. There's loud cheer already. There's loud cheer already, viewers. It's people are all gearing right now. 2:27. We are just counting it. People, there is excitement right now, palpable. We are seeing more and more people gathering at the park. So even those who were inside the car, they have now come out. So it's 2:28, 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes to go for the tower of deceit, tower of corruption to finally come down. So all those corrupt officials, corrupt builders, you must watch this. Never, never again will you do this to all those people who have put in their hard-earned money to buy apartments, to buy their livelihood so that they can stay in these houses. These builders, it's the biggest message that you're going to get right now in less than 2 minutes. Less than 2 minutes, Suesha, these towers are going to come down. And finally, let's just pray that everyone is safe and sound, hoping that all measures that have been taken by the authorities in the last 6 to 7 months, it all goes down as per plan, because once the blaster presses the button, it's just going to take 9 seconds for that 32 floor.
And Shavan.
एक जोरदार धमाका और माना जा रहा है 9 सेकंड का वक्त लगेगा। 32 मंजिला। सर कोई बात नहीं, प्लीज आप आपने मेरा भी हिसाब दिया यार। नोएडा का ट्विन टावर जो कि हिंदुस्तान समय की पाबंदी नहीं है। जबरदस्त धमाका आपने देखा अभी, और चंद सेकंड के अंदर ये दोनों ट्विन टावर धराशायी, और इस धूल का गुबार आप देखिए 100-150 मीटर ऊपर, और आसपास के टावर खड़े हैं, वैसे ही खड़े हैं, आसपास के टावर
Ladies and gentlemen, the tower of deceit, the tower of corruption has finally been brought down. It's now been turned into dust. The 32 and the 29 floor Twin Tower has finally been brought down. The biggest message to all those corrupt officials, to those corrupt builders, no longer will India tolerate this. Today, what you're witnessing is corruption has come down. It is a meltdown of clearly those people who thought that they could have taken every Indian for a ride. And this perhaps is the biggest lesson, as we saw in just about 9 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, this tower of deceit, this tower of corruption has now been brought down. There are a lot of people who are cheering right now, and rightfully so. Why not? How long would have India taken this? How long would have India allowed this to happen? That you would have allowed